So I'm surprised. Watching 3 Australian playoffs in a row will do something to you. It took a long time for me to get through these. That being said, I can definitely tell when there's an improvement, and I gotta say, this wasn't awful. It's a lot more entertaining than the other two. Hi, my name's Sebastian. This is Vision Denial. This is the road to MSI. I just adjust my microphone. I watch every playoff series before MSI. Yes, even that one, even these ones. This is April 1st, just so that people are aware. At some point, I can only watch so many in a row and I won't be able to catch up to them. I will always try to get to a point where I've caught up to them so I can watch the finals of a region live. That being said, let's get to this one. We have Pentanet versus Peace. Gotten the hang of this time. This ended in 3-2 for Pentanet. They will likely get a rematch because Peace had a drastic improvement, apparently, in one day. So, let's get down to the good things. Good thing one, I enjoyed both of their pick and bans. Nothing felt stale. Every time they went for something unique, even if they don't execute on their compositions the best, that I can appreciate what they were aiming for. And I can appreciate that there was an adaptation from game to game as a response to how they won or lost each game. Second thing, Peace actually had okay warding and vision play. It was really surprising. I literally, the first thing I noticed is that all of a sudden Peace is just doing scouting wards and had like an actual vision play. They also were consistently ahead early game for all 5 games. All 5 games, they're the ones who had the lead. And it was really surprising for me to see that they were trying to gain tempo control up until games 4 and 5, where everything stopped to a halt. We'll get there. Next, PGG, or Pentanet GG, had what I would describe as strong team fighting ability, but only as a reaction to when they've been engaged on. They do engage, they do tower dives, but mostly early in, and when it came to the late game, unless they had a Baron or an incredible lead, it usually was like they absorb, okay, now we go in. It's the case of this team's really good at punishing because they're not against a group of teams that are good. And I'm using this term loosely because to explain why I'm not a fan of teams that win games off of because they can punish well is because, and we're going to get to this because the next regions that I get to watch for now are going to be Korea, Southeast Asia, and China, who are all regions that have teams that are actively gaining leads and aren't waiting to punish another team. They're always dictating the game on their own pace and forcing the enemy to make mistakes, as opposed to just waiting until they do. And there's like a very clear distinction between the two. You might be thinking I'm splitting hairs and doing semantics. No. There's one thing to wait for a long time till somebody makes a mistake and then you go for whatever play you want to do, and another for the team to actively gain leads and like forcibly choke resources out from your opponent until they're forced to make a move that could result into them losing the game. And that's the thing that I look for, right? I with these teams, I'm hoping that the team is more active. And so, like, it really was good for me to see that Peace out of all of the 5 teams that Australia has or that Oceania has, that they were the most proactive. That being said, they are the most proactive in the first 6 minutes. After that, they do the same thing. They just wait. It's a long wait, and it's very slow. I I have yet to see a game from this region that is. I mean, it's entertaining to watch because you get to see some interesting fighting dynamics. Like this is the most times that I've seen teams wait and like absorb and then try to like re-engage afterwards. And those are interesting dynamics. They're really good to practice in some situations because sometimes they are forced to play it out like that. But all of the games are like that. It gets really long, like really long, and you can just imagine that like at some point you're just gonna lose out to teams that are faster. And most of the other regions so far that I've watched are significantly faster. Like even Brazil, who has like the like bizarre executions on all of their plays, and like doesn't do pick bans very consistently. They're like the same thing over and over again, or they're not very good at like picking out teams that are efficient. It's they're gonna outplay you because they have a better sense of pacing and they're just gonna keep going. And it's not. It's like there's a huge difference between teams that are good at punishing high octane teams and teams that are good at punishing teams that take way too long to make it just a decision. And I think this is the thing that upsets me the most about this one is that these are definitely the 2 best teams. The previous video I thought that Chiefs would probably make it all the way. No. The Chiefs are a lot sloppier than these 2 teams, and I don't think Chiefs would win against Peace because that's who they're going to be playing against next. And whoever wins against in that matchup will be playing against Pentanet GG, and Pentanet has just been cleaner. They are the slowest team. And it really sucks because they do pick and bans in ways that are like really interesting, but they all lead to team fights. Even if it's teams that are not, and I think I've mentioned this before in other things, but like I think this is a region thing. In the same way that like Oceania last year had like the most predictable pick and bans out of all of the regions, where you can literally tell what they were going to pick next based off of what was already there. They don't have the problem of predictability. They have the problem of not playing to what the comp needs. And just waiting. There's a point literally in Game 4 where Peace had a 4K gold lead for 15 minutes and did nothing with it. They ended up winning. No, they ended up losing that. No, they did win that game. Yeah, that was Game 3. They had 15 minutes, a 4K gold lead, and then proceeded to just wait and almost lost. And if it wasn't for the fact that Pentanet was making some weird macro decisions, not great. So things that I want to see improve from both sides of the spectrum. All right. So first, Peace. I need you to like be more proactive on all stages, not just the early game. You guys have decent enough vision that you are able to make those decisions. You don't have to wait forever for it. Your vision's not necessarily better than Pentanet GG's, and honestly, you would probably stem to work a little bit on your vision denial, and it'll probably help you out. I swear, it'll help you tremendously. But like, pacing needs to increase. Next, Pentanet. Please, for the love of everything, play when you're playing team compositions. Don't just default to scaling. Like, you oftentimes pick compositions that don't scale better, but you should honestly, even if you do, don't just aim to scale better. It's not gonna work out all the time. And you guys need to have a slightly better vision control. You end up usually deciding to play off things blindly, and you may be a stronger team fighting team, and it clearly shows that you guys you've honed in your craft of how to play different styles of compositions in a team fight sense. But you can't just dictate that you're going to win all the time, especially in an international competition, off of team fight, like regardless of vision or not. If these two teams improve on that, then I have a lot more confidence in how they'll do against the lower seeded teams in MSI. Yeah. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'm going to head off into the next one, which is Korea's first set of playoff series. They got 2 going up, and then after that it's China, and then Pacific. And then most of the regions, by the time that April 3rd comes around, have already started except for Vietnam. So, you know, huge. We're really in the thick of it now. We're not even halfway there. Really in the thick of it. Thanks for watching.